Hey guys, I am Jim, the GM here tonight with a little bit of an interlude game. We've got Caleb and Mike with us, and we're going to just be creating a little bit of a story since we're down our third. So tonight's game is actually going to go across the divide. We're going to be on the other part of Corvair. We're going to be inside of Ondare, and we're starting off in Marketplace. So we will actually be starting off um, at morning roll call for the town constabulary, and all of the constables who are about to start their shift are sitting in the morning hall entryway. All of them on their on benches, seated, ready to hear what happened the day before and over the night shift, so that they can jump in and start doing their best to help take care of the small town of Marketplace. Again, we are in Ondare. Marketplace is on the edge of the national boundary between Ondare and Thrain, down in the southeast portion of the country. So that morning, a a tall, dark-skinned human dressed in fine leathers, cloak hooked onto one shoulder, bearing the mark of the town of Marketplace, a set of scales with a nice pointed roofed building behind it. He starts going through roll call, and he says, Dick Jameson, Paula Bradley, yeah. Michael McGillicuddy, here. Stanley Starcox, Stanley.
Yeah.
Stanley, when I say your name, there you go. When I say your name, you say here. And Stanley, you don't look so good. Are you sure you don't need to call in today? I mean, we understand it's your first day. You think you're gonna make it?
Yeah. I just, the guys in the locker room, they were messing with my clothes. Yeah, it's fine. Just I'm the new guy. I get it. It's just move on.
And behind you, there's a couple guys in the back of the room who are just giggling around, just and you're sitting right up front with the rest of the rookies, of the rest of the boots, the new recruits into the constabulary, and giving you a hard time because you've got a little bit of a background being on the wrong side of the law, and through some course of events, you've found yourself having much more success, or at least being left alone a lot more on this side of the law, at least through training you were. Hopefully, as you are now here in Marketplace, things don't get worse for you. At least your old buddies won't find you, right? But those guys are in the back just laughing. You hear some gnome jokes making fun of your height and your eyes and your ears. They're a little racist, but that's all right. You're a little race. Yeah,
That ain't right. It's just not right.
And said, yes, Bum Jumble's Rotten Squad. Bum Jumbles, wake up.
Dwarf guy kind of opens his eyes. He was leaned back in his chair with his feet kicked up on the chair in front of him, and he leans forward. Yeah. Sorry, Chief.
Listen up. Rotten Squad, I'm putting you here with Starcox.
No!
You're going to be his training officer.
Why? No. That's a bad idea. You see, it's my last day. I'm surprised. I sent the memo. Stacy sent the memo out. It's my last day. I'm not looking to get into anything.
Listen, Bum Jumbles. I can't believe you're
Mr. Rotten Squad, please.
It's Captain, isn't it?
Listen,
Captain
Rotten Squad.
Captain Bun Jumbles.
Yes, call me Captain Kid.
We absolutely understand, and unfortunately, just with the situation. Johnson was going to be his TO, but Johnson did call in sick today. I mean, we were hoping that Johnson would be able to work with Starkhawks, but
damn it, Johnson.
he is sick today. So just, working with a newbie on the first day, I'm sure there'll be no trouble. Especially,
let's just give him the day off.
I wish we could.
No? Fine. All right, kid, you're with me.
And he stands up, finishes going through the rest of the list, and he says, all right, so as you understand, and he starts walking up and down the center aisle, handing off just leaves of paper with some bulleted points on it, some people's names, some events that happened. He goes, you can look over it. You'll see that they still have Derek Necessary is still out there. He is still he's still on the land. It's not been able to be found. We have been contacted by Fort Light to try to help out the country of Thrain in finding this man. So if you find out any more information or if you find anything, just be on the lookout. Fort Thrain, as you know, is not that far from us. Please just keep a lookout. This man is known to be very, very dangerous. And speaking of danger, there has been recent reports that some Syrian mercenaries have been going north from Sharn. That does mean they are heading our way, especially if they're following the main roads. If they decide to stay on the main roads, not fork off, then we're going to have this entire situation. And this is one of the first stops that they could make. So please, gentlemen, be careful. It's been, well, as you know, about a week and a half since this was reported back in Sharn. They could be coming this way. Yes, and yes, and don't forget, there's also been some issues over at Arcanix, the magical university on the western border of Onder, over by the lake. It's there have been notices of experiments and that have run amok, and even oddly enough, reports of a handful of Warforged having literally leapt off of the floating universities and walking away from it. They have been spotted by people in the communities near Arcanix. But should one of them appear here, just handle with extreme care. We don't know what's going on, and coming from Arcanix, they could, well, they may have brought something with them. So please just watch out, do your jobs, protect the people, work for the people, keep on a good face, and ladies, gentlemen, Forged, do a good job. Dismissed. And as everybody stands up to leave, the captain goes, Rotten Squat, Starkhawks, come here. I'd like to speak with you for a minute.
Special assignment, I hope. It's probably got something to do with liverwurst. Let's see what it is.
So he walks up to you. There's one more special that I wanted to give to Starkhawks and Johnson, especially for his first day. But this works even better for you now, Rotten Squat, because, well, some basic thefts. You need to interview some people. There's really not a lot to worry about, and with your experience, I'm quite certain that you'll be able to take care of business and, well, keep yourself safe. I mean, it is your last day. Don't want anything happening to you.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? Me and old BJ, we're going to make the best team.
For one
I don't
day?
like that name. Don't like it at all. You can call me Bum. Bum Jumbles, Rotten Squat, Mr. Rotten Squat, Mr. Bum Jumbles, Rotten Squat. I don't care. But don't call me BJ.
Okay, Captain BJ.
Oh.
I think that... What?
Nothing. Did you hear what the captain said? What were his orders? Repeat them to me.
Oh, honestly, this whole time I've just been thinking about my underpants. You know, the guys that... I think they made my underpants
Look,
alive.
It's very smart. It's smart to think about your underpants. It's the right thing to do most of the time.
Well,
but not when the captain's telling you something that I wasn't listening to.
what? I don't know about my underwear. They're like literally crawling.
It is too much underwear talk.
Sorry, I'm having a real hard time. Whew.
It's up in there, huh? Well, I'm sorry about that. I was a part of it.
Great, thank you.
I've apologized. It's step 12. So anyway,
what? Step 12 is to change my underwear into bugs?
No, to admit something you had done wrong, and of course I've done nothing wrong. So I do something to you. So, and now I'm saying sorry. But yes, we should go where I was listening, of course. Of course. Yes, we will go and we will investigate and we will talk to people about this thing. And
that sounds like a great plan. I'm glad to be with a real veteran.
Yes. Well, hey, it might be my last day, but I'm very sharp.
The way this is going, I think this might be my last day too.
You're thinking of retiring early. I wish I had that choice.
Yeah, we'll call it retiring.
It's very brave. You're a very brave gnome. So we shall go and investigate the happenings.
So, wow. That was awesome. As you head out, just give me a quick description as you guys walk out of the meeting room and slow walk in your attire as you're heading out to the front door.
So I think Stanley's just this little gnome. Nothing too special. He's got a little bit of a dark look about him, but other than that, the only thing odd is he's walking like he's got a real bad wedgie. From whatever practical joke the guys played in the locker room when he was trying on his uniform for the first time. He's kind of walking all crooked, like trying to adjust. But just a little brown-haired gnome.
Yeah, Bum Jumbles or Bum is he kind of rounds the corner, and first thing he does is he stops and he kind of leans up on the divide and talks to somebody who kind of rolls out in the way in front of him. And you can see him clearly mouth "last day," and he goes and he yells at someone on the other side and says, "Yeah, last day." And they roll back out of the way to reveal a short dwarven man. He is a little paunchy, even for a dwarf. He's got his hair is cut pretty short. Most of them has kept his pretty short, but his beard is thick, closer to his face, and then just kind of gets stringy the further away. But it is relatively long still. The only important thing other than that is he's got just almost sort of a uniform on, but over it he's got this like flak jacket type chest protector kind of strapped around him, and he's got two billy clubs on either hip.
Nice. So as you go to the front door, you give one last day to the lady behind the desk, Sarah Short, and Sarah goes, "Oh, good, Mr. Bomb Jumbles, wonderful. And oh, I see you've taken Mr. Johnson's place with Mr. Starcrocs. Good. So, Mr. Starcrocs," she looks at you smiling.
It's Cox. Star
Johnson?
Cox. No, not Johnson Cox.
Not Johnson
No.
Cox.
No, sir. What you are wearing there are Crocs. I'm sorry, but that was a horrible decision.
They're comfy.
Those
They're
are
very comfy.
Wonderful. Well, here's you go. The captain wanted me to give this to you on your way out. It's a list of locations that you may want to go about the burglaries over the night. And just, I guess, investigate, do your best, and when you come back in, I'd be happy to tell you to have a great retirement, sir.
Of course. Wow. Burglaries, of course. That's what I. Thank you. And he takes the paperwork and kind of takes a hat off of his head, puts it under his arm, and kind of reads it as he's walking out. Come on, then. The faster we get started, the faster we get done.
Cool. As you are walking out, you open the doors, bright, sunny day in wonderful city of Marketplace in the country of Ondair. And it's actually pretty warm at this point in the year. For if anybody watches, or just to remind us, this is actually happening over the 3-month break from the point that you have returned from the tomb of the first Deneth with the dragon mark. This is between that point and when we pick back up again after that 3-month time period of, I don't want to call it a hiatus, but you guys are just working in Voyar or at the line. So it's still pretty warm, especially since this part of Ondair is much further south compared to where you are at the line. Probably a good, just taking a quick look at the map, it's about 200 miles further south. So definitely warmer than what you've been experiencing with your other characters. And looking at these locations, it just is basics of like let's see, the basics are addresses of 3 different homes, and one of them is Jamar Rugaloo. Jamar Rugaloo is actually a shifter in a shifter's family, and they said that they had what was it? It was their entire kitchen set, like not just the dishes, not just the utensils, but the table that it was all on is gone. Then there was Cristobal Davenworth. And Cristobal Davenworth said that he had an entire wall's worth of fine art that was hung up stolen. And then Syl Du, a gnomish woman, she said that she lost, that she had a cow stolen.
Was that cowl with an L?
No, like moo.
Oh.
Cow.
Which would you like to go to first?
All right, so I think the one that's going to be closest on the map is going to be the Rugaloo family. So how about this? This is your first day. I'm going to impart. What is it you say? Drop a wisdom spell. Make you make a wisdom save. And learn a thing or two. Yes, we're gonna. Yes, it's an advanced saying. Anyway, we'll go check out the shifters, talk to them about the kitchen set, measure the doors and things like that. I'll show you the ropes, and then
Measure the doors.
something that look. It's in. Listen, it's like they always say. You gotta wash your jib. So keep your jib clean, and that's
All right.
that's got a lot to do
You're
with
the
all
pro.
this.
I mean,
Yes, and after I teach you my professional chattery, perhaps we can go see Miss Sildu, and you can warm up on an easy one.
okay. No,
Do you know her? She's a gnome.
God, we don't all know each other.
Oh, I just assumed. I'm sorry. Okay, then. Well, then let's go to the Rugaloo Ranch. Haha, that's a little cop joke. Not a very good one.
So you guys go to the Rugaloo family home and knock, knock, knock. And Jamar, a little short human woman, opens the door. Oh, good, you're here. Come on in, come on in. Yes, please.
Ma'am, if you don't mind, this is his first time. We're gonna do this one by the books.
You don't have to tell that to every person we meet.
No, they need to know. They need to know why I'm being overly courteous here. They need to know.
Oh, okay.
So, hello, Jamar. It is nice to see you. It's a lovely day. We are here on behalf of the constables, and we were wondering, do you have a moment of time that we might be able to ask you about the robbery that occurred here?
Oh, yes. Yes, I was hoping that you would have come sooner, but I understand it's morning, and I do appreciate you letting me sleep too. And yes, well, do come on in. Yes.
Very good. Did you see that?
Would you like some tea? Some towel? I'll make you some towel.
I gotta hand it to you, BJ. Your detective voice is really nice.
They love it. It goes all over the place, but they love it.
Great. Yeah.
Yes. And in we come. I don't drink tea. Do you have any lemonade? I'll make lemonade while we talk.
I don't have any lemons.
So, well, then just lemonade without the lemons and the sugar. None of that.
Asking for lemonade here is like, could you just pour liquid gold into a cup for me?
She goes, sure, no problem. And you watch her as she just opens her hand toward a glass that is poured over at on the counter, and she closes her hand, and you watch as the glass gets picked up and comes over and floats over toward you.
Yes, thank you. Is this what I asked for?
Glass. Yes, it's lemonade without the lemons or the sugar.
He looks at it, and he smells it, and he drinks it, and he makes this like face. Ugh. It's water, to those of you who don't know. But he's having a hard time with it. Anyway, yeah, anyway.
He's struggling.
It's weird without the lemon flavor. So you had some things stolen last night. That's what the report said? Is that right?
Yes, and she gestures toward the empty room that you are currently standing in.
Well, where
really
is it?
bummed, Jay. I mean, look in front of you. There's nothing in this room. Do you think they just don't furnish their kitchen? She just handed you a drink in like a child's toy because all her cups are gone.
It looks at the cup. Deceptive. Very good. You will. I wouldn't retire if I was you. That seemed like a bad idea. Very good. All right. So it's all missing. So tell me, walk me through the events of last night.
Well, to be honest, I was up late reading. My husband was asleep, children were in bed, and I heard a noise. It sounded like something fell, and I thought that maybe I left the window open in the kitchen. And I came out, and the table and the entire setting, I had let my dishes dry from being washed. I had let them dry on the table overnight. And now they're all gone.
So you heard a noise. You came in. It was there, and then it wasn't. Was there anything strange or odd? Is everybody in the house accounted for?
Yes, everyone's accounted for.
Was there like when you came into the kitchen? Was it? Did the floor seem slippery? Did it smell? What can you? What do you know? These are all very important detective questions.
I didn't smell anything. The floor was dry. The table would have been wet. Why? What makes those questions important?
I am just gathering all the information. It's important for us to do.
Would you like to take a look around? I mean, feel free. And she kind of steps back a little bit.
In the training, they told us how to case a crime scene. So I think that's a good idea. I should take a look around. I was real good at it.
Yes, he was a criminal before he was a police officer.
God, you tell everyone everything?
Sorry, they need to know.
Ma'am, I gave that life up a long time ago.
Oh, I scared him straight, ma'am, in the drive over or walk. I don't know why. On the way.
Okay, well, I'm going to take a look around and see if there's any signs of how these things found their way out.
I am going to get another glass of lemonade. Hold the lemon. And I will also help you and point things out from where I stand. So I will aid him if he would like to on either perception or
investigate.
Whatever. I am proficient in both, so I will aid you whichever you need.
I would prefer to perceive the area if I can.
Okay.
Because that's the thing I took, the double whatever.
Cool. So with perception, we're gonna flavor it like you don't know what's going on. Yes, there was a robbery, but you're not necessarily looking for signs of a robbery, like how it was taken. You're more like, okay, any signs of breaking and entering, because we should say there was a noise. Or
I think that Stanley's basically like, if I had robbed this place, this is not what I would have taken. And so he's like, what is actually going on here? And that's why it's perception instead of investigate, I think, because he's like just looking around like, what the heck? Like, why is this the stuff that went? So, oh, thank God I have that.
You've got advantage.
+4. Oh, I have advantage?
Yeah, because he's aiding you.
Okay, sweet. 19.
So that's your wisdom plus double proficiency? Okay. Yep. Looking around the room, checking, you don't see any signs of forced entry. You go check out the locks of the door, and that seems fine. The latch is still completely intact, only showing signs of what would be assumed wear and tear for as old as the home is. You check the latches on the windows, and everything seems fine. The shutters seem in place. Nothing looks to have been torn up. Looking around, you also think, okay, so maybe it's an inside job. And you go and you check like the kids' room, and there's nothing in the kids' room. You're like, okay, this is really strange. Open up the cabinets. Maybe the lady forgot something. And then as you're walking back across the room from the cabinets to go back over to Bum Jumbles, you said that first roll. You said that first roll wasn't so good, right? The second one was much better.
Yeah, I was going to be at 10 with bonus.
Okay. As you walk across that empty space, Bum Jumbles, like you almost get to Bum Jumbles, and he goes, "Wait, stop, do that again." And you're like, you almost feel like he's giving you hell.
Yeah,
I've already checked everything. What do you mean? He goes, "No, walk back over there." And as you walk back across the room, he goes, "Did you notice?" And you're like, "The floor's not even right where the table should be."
not even like there is a step that shouldn't be there, or not even like it is not level. Like it's
it is not like it is. It's not level. If you'd like to make an investigation check to get more information about what it is, maybe if something.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think while he's doing that, is it possible that I am also aware of this? Would you?
Yes. It was you noticing the floor that you're like, hey, like, even though you are kind of giving him a little bit of hell, it's your last day, you are trying to teach him by the books, so he has something to be left with.
Yeah,
you're pointing him in the direction to find the information that you're saying.
So Stanley looks down at the ground. He's like, "There's literally nothing here," because I rolled a 1.
Bum kind of rolls his eyes, and he's moved to the side of the room. He's actually standing next to what's her name? Jamar? Raymar? Jamar. He's standing next to Jamar, and he says, "So tell me, what's under the table? It seems a little off."
Well, nothing. The floors are made of wood, and just from walking around on the floors, no sounds of it being hollow are coming across. The floors slats are directly onto the ground.
Is there like a rug or something that's covering this area up?
Nope. You can see the floor.
And he kind of walks over to it. He puts the drink down, and he kind of kicks his legs and stretches out real big and gets over where he starts to feel it go uneven. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to... So tell me if... I would like to use being familiar with the terrain here.
Yeah.
If you could maybe make that survival, or I mean, additional perception. I can, whatever.
If you'd like to investigate that would be the most helpful for it.
Could I make the case that I would be using my survival to investigate, because I'm basing it off of like the terrain? since you said the wood goes straight down. The other thing that I was thinking is I have stone cutting. This isn't stone by any means, but stone cutting with an application to a city might give me, I don't know, different uses than a dungeon.
Yeah. Because it's a wooden floor, the stone cutting wouldn't help you so much. However, if you'd like, I mean, if you want to try to make a survival check with it,
and you could just use a hero point too to like prove that you're the veteran cop. Like, let me show you. I got this figured out.
But it's also going to be that same situation like we talked about in one of the previous games. You can use it, and there's going to be information available, but that doesn't mean that it's going to give you the best information.
Sure. So I think what he's going to do, I think I am going to roll an investigation to investigate the actual area. So we'll do that. We ready?
Yep.
Bum Jumble's first roll is a good one. 18 investigation.
Cool. With that 18 investigation, what you notice is that there is a slight discoloration in the shape of a perfect circle in the floor, where it looks as though there is that from this circle to a central point, it comes in just slightly.
Like the 18th hole at a mini golf course.
Yeah. The kind of 18th hole where they want your ball, not to give you a free game.
Yes. Do I have any idea what that would mean? Can I now use survival?
That's from the information that's there. You're like, it looks like someone has sanded down the flooring here, and it's just here.
Like she had a big dog that just chased its tail in the same spot for a decade.
Well, that's where the table was?
That's where the table was.
Okay.
And it's big enough, as in like dining room table, not just like an end table or a small table.
Sure.
It was the table that her family ate on.
So you got no ideas why something like this, I mean, has it always been here? Is this the first time you're also noticing this, ma'am?
Noticing what?
This gradation in the floor. I think what he does is he kind of holds his billy club with the handle part facing up and lets go, because the natural thing is to always kind of hit and slide a little bit. So it's showing that this is, or maybe he takes a little bit of the water and he kind of pours it and it rolls down.
Yeah. She sees that and officer, I've been cleaning these floors for as long as we've lived here. It's never done that. That's new. What could it be?
He kind of stomps once or twice on it.
Sounds like you're stomping on the floor.
Does it look like the wood was pressed down, or does it look like someone he's seen some crazy things, and so he's going to lean over and he says, one time, hell, a few decades ago, probably right around the time you was born, I saw this case, and this what?
I'm 120 years old.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I am 310. I'm 310. Very old.
A couple decades ago.
I could be your great grand dwarf. Anyway, I've seen a lot of things. Probably when you was born, there was this wizard who would pop into places, and the way he would travel, it would be. Have you ever seen Terminator, the movie, where at the beginning, where he pops up and the chain link fence is like
you're talking nonsense again.
It's so a long time ago, there was this Warforged that was sent back from the future to kill a guy, and we had to stop.
And she says, "John Connor."
Yeah, well, that's not his real name. It was funnier, but we don't like to talk about it. Don't ask me again, please. Anyway, it's really all about his mother. But anyway, it's not important. Anyway, so he popped up, and this like globe of the first clue that we found was this globe of like electric force that we guess he came to our time in, and it singed everything that was in its area. It left a little indentation on the ground where the bottom of this perfectly round electrical sphere kind of scooped out the part of it, almost like someone just taking an eraser and just sort of removed it. So, excuse me, I'm very old. Instead of looking pressed down, it actually looked like part of the board was just sort of cut out. Is that what this? Does that look like something like that to you?
What?
GM. All right. Again, the Terminator.
No. That's not what I meant.
So does it look like that, Jim? Does it look like the Terminator?
Yes, it does.
Your copy, you have to tell me.
Yeah. I think I might know somebody at the precinct that could tell me about Arcana stuff, but I don't think he would be able to remember what it is. So I won't even make a check on that. But there it is. And everything. So is it just the kitchen table and the things that were on it that are missing? Is that what the report said?
Yes, that's what the report said.
All right, ma'am. So just the table then and the dishes that were on it, right? What any last question? Last question for me, and then I'll leave you in the hands of the scalawag that I brought with me. Were those
Seriously, got to stop. I'm a cop now. You got to stop.
Okay. Yes, sir, officer. He's new. But were those dishes important? With priceless heirlooms, or were they just, this finery that you might eat on a Tuesday afternoon when you're having your liverwurst?
They were a gift from when me and my husband got married, and we were very poor back then, you see. And granted, with his success and as our life has gone on, we've done better. But this is from the beginning of our marriage and the beginning of our life, and we still use them for practical purposes, but they were still very important to us.
Of course. Well, we do appreciate your time. Kid, if you want to look around and ask the nice lady some questions, of course, I would ask that you be polite. Thank you.
Ma'am, I just want to apologize on behalf of the constables. All that nonsense he was talking about, terminators, I'm not sure what he was getting into there. We'll do our best to figure out what's going on, but we've got a couple other places we got to visit tonight. So,
okay. Well, I do.
Time, ma'am.
I do. Yes, thank you for coming and checking in, and yes, have a great day, gentlemen.
If you hear anything weird, or anybody comes, bringing your silverware back, be sure to let us know down at the station.
We'll do, officer. And you guys leave. What's next?
We're going to the gnomes.
Still do. All right, kid. I'm taking the reins off. You got a point on this one.
All right. I think walking up to, is it a farmhouse?
It is on the outskirts of Marketplace. It is a small house with uh, a couple of acres fenced in around the back.
All right, so I think Stanley's walking up and kind of looks begrudgingly at Bum Jum, and he's like, Aunt Sil, Aunt Sil, hey, here to talk to you about your cow. He starts knocking on the door.
All right, this is a gnome-sized house. So that top part of the door swings open, and as it does, you see just like this smoke billowing out. And she's got this big old smile on her face. She goes, "Hey, you! How you doing, Stanley? You come by? I just got some cook. I'm just cooking on right now. Got some old beef roasting on the spit."
That sounds really good. Wait, aren't you short a cow? Not so silly.
Cow and a half.
What does that mean? What does that mean? A cow and a half is? Did half a cow disappear? Was there any termites? Oh, what was that, Bum Jum?
You see, ma'am, there was this movie a few years ago called The Terminator.
I don't know anything about this Terminator. All I know is that yesterday, while it was nighttime, and I heard noise. I heard like a moo, and then the moo got cut off and went out back. And well, come on, I'll show you. And she
great.
Opens up the bottom door, just leaves them wide open. You smell beef from the inside. She walks around the edge, opens up the gate. This is great because you're all not too tall, so
yeah. Stanley's like,
oh look, let me step over this.
Stanley's like, she's not really my aunt, but that's just what we call her. Just be cool. She's really nice.
And takes you around out back, and there is the first thing that you see is this giant dug out part of the ground where there's no grass. It's just soil. And immediately you're seeing there is a connection because it's in a circle, and from one portion of it, the grass is matted down off on the side just for a portion, and blood has ran down the part of it into pool up in the middle.
Aunt Sil, we're gonna have a few questions, but could you go get the old man a glass of lemonade?
Lemonade?
Just
don't have any lemons.
I'll tell you what, just make it without it and no sugar. It's too sweet.
She listens to you, looks over at you, Stanley. All right, I'll be right back. And she goes around to the front of the building and into the house to get the lemonless, unsweet lemonade.
So I think that Stanley wants to take a look around, especially maybe while she's not here, just so that it doesn't color any of the things we find.
Okay. Are you looking for something specific, or are you just looking to see what you can find?
I'm thinking just mostly like out of the ordinary. Maybe trying to pinpoint what she meant about missing a cow and a half. But
okay. Cool. So you are assuming there's something out of the ordinary. So you're basically looking around to see if something catches your eye. Perception.
Yeah, so I'm glad we're not playing with characters that are going to last for months, because that'll be a
they don't see crap.
A big 11.
All right. So looking around, you're definitely seeing this dugout dirt. It looks like it's real clean. There's the blood that's pulled up in the middle, um, and there's odd, like the grass is oddly matted down from that place where the blood is, leading out the front gate.
Um, I would probably be kind of looking around and not directly where he's sort of looking. And I would like to see if I could spot any places that might be, you know, up to 50, maybe 100 feet in any direction where just to kind of peruse the area to see it. I don't know if it was in his mind, whatever happened back with that time traveling Warforged, he doesn't remember any of it. So he's sort of just checking the area out because now there's more space that there could be something. I don't know.
Okay, investigate that area then.
Okay. Okay.
Do you feel like you should perception?
I do.
Or you just okay?
Just
So
because
you're just like,
I think the first thing I would do is I would try and find out if there is something
okay.
that would make sense for that, or
Go for it.
I'll go ahead and use. Well, I rolled when it was investigation.
Out here, since this is an urban area, and like, I mean, you are literally looking for lack of a better word, something that has walked away. So if you'd like to survival this one, you may.
Okay. Well, I've rolled, and I rolled for the investigation that I tried to talk you into perception, and I would prefer survival. So do you want me to keep the original roll?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Roll the survival.
All right. I'm going to do
Don't
that.
forget, you do have those action points.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to use it because I didn't roll much better there. And an action point's a D6.
Yep.
Is that right? All right.
Yes, sir.
Let's see what happens. That's better. That gives me a whopping 16.
All right. As you are looking around, you don't see any of like the grass gone or matted down area, but you do see a set of looks like boot prints or footprints coming from the west going east.
Does that
East
align
toward Marketplace?
Does that align in any way, shape, or form with any of the other reports of the mercenaries or anything like that from the morning meeting?
Well, I mean, it could. So just like you're thinking right now, in your head, you're thinking, I wonder if this, you look off toward the west, you know Arcanix is out that direction. But Arcanix is like, whew, Arcanix is a good 300 miles that way.
Can I just use the same 16 and apply? Actually, do I get advantage when I try and do a survival check for my whatever?
Yeah.
So I'll just roll another dice.
Oh, and I just remembered that that's your favorite enemy. Yeah, the way with as heavy as these footprints look, that person is either very heavy and very armored or a forged.
And he's really kicking himself because he doesn't remember the whole plot to Terminator, but this is definitely scaring him. Oh God, time traveling robots, worst nightmare. Not my last day. Don't take me into the past. Yeah, I think he would kind of look at him a little bit. And you said it looked like it was headed into Marketplace.
Yep.
I think I would probably take a mental note of like wherever there might be normally people like sitting outside, like if there's a neighborhood district where kids or adults or whatever are outside and just chilling a lot, just to so later we can go ask questions if we need to. But I kind of keep that in mind where that would be. But yeah, he kind of turns around, says, "Well, what'd you find?"
Well, did you notice this big hole here? And the blood?
And coming back around the outside, she goes, "I got your unsweet lemonade without lemon." And she's holding a clay container in her hand.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aunt Sil. It's real kind of you. He's an old man.
So?
Dwarf, excuse me. Aunt Sil,
Dwarf is a race. Male is a gender.
yeah, well, you know.
Well, do you, I guess.
Can you tell me where all this blood came from? When you said that you lost half a cow, is that where that beef stew came from?
Well, I didn't kill it.
Well,
Only part of it that was left was the rump.
So you found it out here?
Yeah.
And a whole other cow.
I went and reported it.
Right,
it's gone,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I tried telling that to the officer when I reported it.
Well, they don't listen.
He just laughed at me.
Yeah. They look down on us in more ways than one.
Glad they got somebody on the inside.
Yeah.
I think Bum is like looking at them like, what does she mean? Is she a criminal as well? Are you going to kill me? It's my last day.
They're only going to find half of you.
Please don't eat my rump.
Well, besides the mood, Aunt Sil, was there anything weird about... Did you hear anything before the moo?
Well, there was this odd smell. I mean, if I hadn't already been awake and come running when I did, I mean, it's like that smell was fading. It smelled like, well, you know, like you ever get too close to a furnace and you just smell everything getting burnt up? That's what it smelled like. And not like burnt beef either.
Well, are you talking about a burnt hair smell?
No.
No, okay.
Burnt, well, everything. You know, just like fire, just demolishing everything. It was the weirdest smell. I hadn't smelled anything like it in a long time since, since my brother moved out here from Zill and had talked about his him and his experiments blowing up. He always had that burnt smell on him. Not like burnt hell, just like everything burnt.
Okay. Well, answer me this. The half a cow that you found out here, the rump, was it also burnt where it was severed, or did it look like it had been cut with a blade?
Oh, well, you want to see it?
Is it not in the stew? Sure, we'd love to see
I
it.
ain't made no, I ain't made no stew with it yet. It's on the spit roasting.
Well, let's take a look.
All right,
Jumbles,
come
you
on
got
in,
any
boys.
No.
any problem with that?
No. The lemonade that you made is too sweet, though. And he kind of takes one last drink and sets the cup or the little clay mug down. And he says, "But of course, thank you. Of course."
You just leave it outside. Walk.
So she leads you inside, and inside she's got the spit, got the the rump in the most comical way you can imagine. There's the rump of the cow, and the legs are still just straight down. And as it spins, those legs come up and go back down
Drag along the floor because she couldn't lift it high enough.
because she couldn't. But it's roasting, and and from what you see, this cow, just from a quick look at it, instead of like dividing it evenly, here's the rump and the legs and the tail, and it just being cut like this, it's cut like this. Make a survival check or a medicine roll.
Never seen anything like that in my life.
Bum Jumbles, looking at that, I mean, with your time and your life and things that you've dealt with before, you no, you haven't seen anything like that, Stanley. With your 7, Bum Jumbles with his 19. Bum Jumbles, looking at that bit of animal that's there, that is certainly not the way that you would cut it to cook it, and the way that a cut piece of meat looks once it's started to cook is not the way that that looks. That looks like whatever happened was a lot cleaner in the separating the front half from the back half than a knife would have been.
He would point that out and sort of like put his hand on Syl's shoulder and like almost like defending her to her nephew, saying, "No, see, it's clearly you would. She looks like it smells like she's a professional. So I'm gonna have to take her word and her side on this one. I know you're looks like you're trying to accuse her of something, but you need to slow down." Slow down a little, because here, the way it's cut, this is clearly not the way that a butcher would want to slice this thing. It just doesn't make any sense. So I'm sorry. I know he's your nephew. He's new, though. He's got to learn. So,
Well, all right.
so yeah. I think with that information, I think it would be another one where he says, "I'm good. Hang out as long as you want to."
All right. Aunt Sil, is it okay if I come back over for some stew after my first day, big day? You know.
Well, I'm telling you, Stanley, we're going to have quite a bit as she looks over at that cow rump.
Okay. Well, I'll bring the guys around if that's okay with you, and we'll see you later on. We'll try and figure out what happened to your cow. I'm starting to think we won't be finding it intact though. So don't get your hopes up. You know how it's hard for us around here, so we'll see you this evening.
All right, Stanley. Well, you have a good time. Enjoy your first day playing cop.
Not playing. I am a cop, but thank you.
Of course you are.
You really gotta stop doing that. People don't respect me. Anyway, well, I'll see you later.
Bye, Stanley.
It was very nice to meet you. I believe his underwear is in a bunch, literally.
Oh,
But
anyway. I hate that for him.
Yeah, there's some old dwarven tricks I could teach him, but it's my last day, so if you ain't scooting, you're pooting. So I'm on the way out. Thank you again, and hopefully everything's good to go.
Well, thank you. You can come by and have yourself some stew too later on.
Perfect. In case I didn't introduce myself, Bum Jumbles, Rotten Squat. Very nice to meet you. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day, Mr. Rotten Squat. And as y'all exit the house, sorry, I'm still kind of caught in that accent. As you exit the house, you have probably spent a couple of hours already traveling across town. You've been stopped by a couple of people that want to say something to you, people who recognize you, and you're a presence in the town, Rotten Squat. So, I mean, just stop for a second and think, how long would it really take a dwarf to work before they could retire? It's probably not a human amount of time. So you've probably seen
I don't know.
a lot of these grandparents when they were kids.
Depending on how human the town is, it's probably one of those like he's retiring for the 8th or 10th time, and he's going to get another occupation and work it for another 40 years, and then.
Well, what did you say? How's it been there, Rotten Squat?
What do you mean? How's it been?
Is this your only retiring? Is this your one in a long line of retiring?
I would say he's teased retiring a bunch, and actually he's probably retired multiple times, but they've all been like honorary retirements, like, hey, we're going to retire your jersey number, but you're still playing a Kobe Bryant situation. I'm the Kobe Bryant of police dwarfs. So, but
you just retire and then move to a new city and start over.
Well, so I moved to a different division, and now I'm kind of just a all-purpose liaison / badass cop that's working his last day on the beat.
Looking forward to 300 years of retirement.
But yeah, I think he would be happy that it's his last day. But the fact that this has taken a little bit of time, he's kind of in the groove of the day, so he wouldn't necessarily stop and be on parade or anything. I think he would obviously sign autographs when they wanted it, but he's not going to make a show of it.
You're not making a show of it, but they're stopping you, still saying like you've done good. We appreciate you. Thank you. Because again, you've been in this town a long time to have watched at one time grandchildren grow up to now be grandparents in a community that's predominantly human. Time has moved very slow to you compared to them. They've watched you almost not age at all in their lifespans. And so, like, you are a fixture, and they are just as every other dwarf and gnome in Marketplace. It stays. and they are happy to know you, and they say stuff. And it's been a couple hours as you have traveled around, gone your path to first go check out Jamar Rugaloo's, and then now with Aunt Sil. So about this time, it's 10:30 in the morning. All that's left to do is to go to Cristobal.
All right, Cristobal. I can't say I know the guy myself, but just judging off his name, it sounds like this guy's a human, and those guys are huge assholes. So I'm going to just see if I can't talk to this guy. Maybe we can get in, get out, get the information, and maybe not have to be around him for very long.
So Cristobal Davenworth, this is one of the people whose family has lived in Marketplace for a long time. In fact, it is called Marketplace due to the surrounding area. It's very much what, at some point, the line could become. It is all of this open field all around it, and was once just a place that people would come to bring their goods and meet up at, like, an entire county's square, until people started staying there and focusing on trying to bring goods in, trade them before it, and make a living off of the trade of goods from outside of the county and outside of the area. So Cristobal Davenworth's family was one of the first families to start establishing it. And whereas there's lots of like tents in the marketplace and a lot of stalls, he actually lives in a house that is built up on wooden pedestals with a one of the open air markets under his home. So not underground. It's like a beach house built up so that when tide comes in, it doesn't mess up the house. And Stanley, you notice a couple of forged just walking away from you two down an intersecting road going to the south.
Like on a mission walking, like they're not stopping for anybody. Like, do I suspect that it's about that the briefing, the thing we heard in the briefing?
Could be.
Hey, BJ, you see these guys? Walking awfully fast. Where they got somewhere to go? Got somewhere to be?
Sorry, you talking to me?
Yeah, Bum Squat.
That's worse than my actual name.
Sorry.
That's
Bum
worse than my
Jumbles.
actual name.
Bum Jumbles.
Okay, yes. Sorry. What
Sorry.
is it?
I keep remembering your real name and then thinking that I got it wrong.
Okay, yeah. Can I guess investigation might be what would be used here, just to sort of figure out what I think might be going on here, just using them as, I don't know. Let me read the thing real fast.
You can make an investigation roll.
All
Insight?
right. So I'll use, well, which one? I don't mind using investigation.
Insight is used more often to be able to judge a person based off of their behavior or demeanor.
Okay, so I'll use insight then.
Like reading body language is insight.
Yeah, that kind of seems like that's what this is here. 17.
With that 17, getting a good look at it, you think that they are, unfortunately, you're struggling because they are moving as forged. They are walking with intent, and unfortunately, by being warforged, even if one turns to talk to the other, their faces are expressionless.
What type of Warforged is it?
Uh, oh. They are. They just look to be unarmored. They don't look as though if they've got any of their extra plating turned on or set up.
Gotcha. I think since I have an extra language that is spoken by my favorite enemy, I think that in this situation that might mean that I know phrases and things like that that can catch attention of certain types. Like at my house, I can say "Okay, Google," and it listens, like that sort of thing. So I think that's what he would do. He would attempt sort of an envoy, like, is this guy a talker? And so it would simply be "Hark, hark." He would say it twice, as that's the thing that might get their attention.
One of them stops. The other one takes a couple more steps. And they both turn inward towards you and look over the shoulder. Straighten up, turn around, and then begin walking toward you.
Yeah, I would walk over to meet him. And I say, "Kids, stay behind me. I don't know how this is going to go." Hey, how you doing? I am Bum Jumble Rotten Squat with the constables. I was just curious where you fine gentlemen might be headed today.
And as they get closer, you finally start to see some of the indentations and markings of one who calls himself Dent, who it looks as though there's a portion of his right shoulder that is caved in. And one who calls himself Club, because his left hand is melted together. And you recognize these two as being locals.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, gentlemen. Hey, while I got you here, we don't mean to frighten you or anything, but there were some reports and a little bit of information might go a long way. If you got just a second here, I'd love to ask you a question or two.
Of course. What can we help you with?
Yeah, so I was curious, have you guys seen any out of town or unfamiliar Warforged kind of walking around Marketplace at all today or over the last couple of days?
Over the last couple of days. Dent, what do you know anything, Dent? And Dent cocks his head. No, not that I can recall. Why?
Well, we're just curious. I found have you two haven't been walking through Miss Sildu's backyard, have you?
No, we have not. We do as we should. It would be uncivilized for us to take strolls through someone's lawn, sir.
Of course. Well, hey, if you see anything odd, or if you see some people that maybe you don't know, if you don't mind, just maybe popping on down to the constable's office and giving us a little bit, telling us about it. We'd really appreciate it.
Dent looks at you and goes, "Excuse me, officer. I see
Yes.
a man that I don't know." And he points to Stanley.
Oh, yeah. This here is Officer Stanley Starcox.
Thank you.
He's with me today. Yes.
The club is shaking physically.
Do I know why? Does he have worms?
He sits and starts scraping his metal ass on the ground. No, he's it would look like this to you.
Oh, he's laughing, maybe.
He's trying to attempt humor.
Oh, so that's a joke. This is a very funny joke, but that's actually a good thing to keep your eyes on because you see some crazy things out here, and what we're asking you, of course, is if you see anything suspicious, and you hit this one right in the bullseye. This guy used to be a criminal, so
God, you really gotta stop.
he's not
Criminal talk.
He's an officer now. Not, I mean, he was do you
It
ever
was
stop
just a
being one? I don't know.
years. I had to feed. Anyway. It's not. I'm not a criminal.
We understand, sir. We spent our time in the last war. Sometimes you have to do what is required, even if it's not so pretty.
Thank you. Yeah, he gets it.
Yes, he gets it. Of course, he gets it. Well,
Wait, what are you trying to say?
I said, of course, I'm agreeing with. We're all in agreement.
Okay, good.
Can't believe this guy. He's new. But anyway, thank you so much. If you see anything suspicious, let us know. And have a great day. Thank you again.
Thank you,
You
gentlemen.
too, officers. Oh, and Officer Rotten Squat. Congratulations. They nod their head and turn to go on.
Very good. Well, I suppose we go and we talk to Cristobal here. So, but yeah, I guess we probably walk up to the door. Knock, knock, knock.
A forged in a forge that looks to have a collar on, literally cloth, opens the door. Yes.
Hey, yeah, we are here from the constable's office. We are following up on a report says that there was a robbery at this location last night. We were curious if Mr. Davenworth might be around.
Yes, he is around. Unfortunately, he is in the middle of his midday meal. Please come in. Would you care to join him?
What'd you make?
Today he is having quail with a lentil soup, a small baguette, and sweet lemonade.
I'll tell you what, I'll join, but do you have any lemonade without the lemon or sugar?
Sir, I don't know if you realize this, but that's not lemonade.
Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? This is my last
He's
day.
backing.
It's his last day.
Looking around.
Give him what is his lemonade. The man asked for lemonade.
Find,
I would appreciate if you can't find anything, then you can just bring me water. That's fine. But
can I have a regular lemonade?
Follow me, and I will take you to the dining chamber.
Very well.
I am sure Mr. Davenworth will appreciate your presence. Yes. And he leads you very properly yet briskly to the dining area, opens the door into the room. Mr. Davenworth, the two men from the constabulary are here to speak with you concerning the event from last night. Oh, yeah. Yes. Good. Wonderful. If you would, please, care to sit? I just sat down for my noonday meal. Please, join me. We can talk over soup and quail. Would you like some lemonade?
That sounds great.
And he goes, I will get it for them, sirs. And immediately, like briskly, uprightly walks away. Gentlemen, and he gestures with his spoon. Please feel free to be seated. So, how may I help you?
Yeah, we are just following up on a report that was filed on your behalf saying that you had a wall of fine art missing. So we just wanted to come ask you a couple of questions. Could you tell us kind of what happened that night, what you heard, if you smelled anything, if it was slippery, anything?
Slippery? What do you mean?
I feel like you're really focusing in on the wrong part. Just all the details you could remember. That would be perfect.
I slept soundly through the night.
And it was just missing then, huh?
When I awoke the next day, I found that, well, this morning rather, right? When I awoke this morning for my daily constitutional, I noticed, well, as I was using the water closet, I was being watched.
Is that normal?
No!
Do you ever
What
get
kind of a question is that?
okay, you were being watched. How do you know?
Because Monocle was watching me. The wall was gone. As I reported,
The entire
a
wall was
wall
gone.
with... No, just a very large portion. And of the floor and the ceiling.
God, who writes these reports, anyways? I have here fine art gone.
As I reported,
Maybe never mind.
a
These are
wall,
this is my handwriting. Oh,
a wall and fine art.
so can you explain to us what exactly is missing besides the wall, of course?
3 pieces of art, great paintings, pre-last war, very expensive. I was awoken earlier. Monocle had not shown, and my morning constitution was calling. As I began to
Constitute?
relieve myself, yes, constitute. As I began to constitute, I felt a draft. And as I look over, Monocle was watching me. And I looked down to the market below, as a portion of my floor was gone too. Imagine my surprise had I have found the market already open. Oh,
These
I would
paintings
have been
were.
so embarrassed.
Did these paintings have any cows or still life with like silverware, plates, fancy plates?
Fancy
What was in the
plates?
paintings? Just trying to connect the dots here, sir. If you could.
One was a glorious, glorious map of well, depicting the Winarn family, those founders and kings of old, old Galifar. Another was of a park scene, people sitting, eating, playing on a fine spring afternoon. And another was that of a bold black dragon.
Okay, so generic paintings. You getting anything here, Bum Jumbles?
Yeah. Where's the Mr. Monocle right now? Could you call him back in here, please?
He backs up to the door, holding a glass of lemonade and another, and he puts down the glass in front of Stanley, and he puts down the other glass in front of you, Bum Jumbles, and he goes, "Your unsweetened, non-lemonaded lemonade. Yes."
Thank you. You struggled with it, but you got it. So, Mr. Monocle, where were you this morning when the Constitution break was supposed to happen and you were not there? Where were you?
During Mr. Davenworth's morning constitutional, I was in the gallery, cleaning, dusting, taking care of his art as his part of my daily routine. And I turned, and there was Mr. Davenworth constituting on the other side of the wall that was not there.
So let me get this straight. The bathroom and the gallery share a wall then. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
I see. And at the, I'm guessing you were up all night, right? What can you tell me about what you might have what you might have heard? Was there a bang or a pop or what'd you hear?
I don't know what you mean, sir. I was powered down for a portion of the night, as is necessary. I'm sure you're aware.
Are there any other people that work on the grounds?
Oh no, I am Mr. Davenworth's only employee, and I serve him happily.
Can I insight
You
that?
see his posture change. Yes, you see his posture change, and he holds himself a bit more upright as he says that.
I got a 9.
You get that he's proud. You believe him.
Gotcha. Do you mind if we take a look at the hole?
Oh, absolutely.
That's pretty rude.
All this talk of Constitution.
Well, I did, and yeah, you hear Mr. Davenworth. He says, Gentlemen, please. Monocle is just doing his best. He's doing what you asked. He does not understand. I get that you believe that this happened during the night. I tell you, verily, the wall was there when I sat down for my constitution.
And you didn't see anything. You were you had your eyes closed then.
In my old age.
Tell me about it.
You got a pretty low constitution score.
Oh. It takes a lot out of you.
You know, if you flex that thing for about 5 minutes a day, just kind of quick, and he it looks like he's doing tiny little hip thrusts. Really help you out there.
You should listen to Bum Jumbles. He's the oldest person I know, and he's still doing pretty good. He still only takes 20 or 30 minutes to go.
Yeah. If I would keep to my regimen, it would shoot out of me.
That's where you got the name Bum Jumbles. Rotten Squad.
Oh, I understand. You speak of the flash poop.
Yeah. So there's this old show called Dragon Ball Z. And what I do is I sit there and they had this super form called Super Saiyan. And I just sit there and I just try and turn Super Saiyan. And I've always finished before I've turned. So it's pretty good. That's my method.
Grow a brown tail. So, Mr. Davenworth, have you seen any Terminators? That flashes a look at Bum Jumble.
I hope I don't have any termites. That would explain the wall.
Was
It
there
had to be enormous?
Just to kind of as a wrap-up question here, sir. Was there, to your knowledge, was there anything that might have been inside that wall? What was on the bathroom side of what was missing?
A mirror. I swear the last thing that I remember was Stop it. The last thing I remember seeing was this flash of I guess shiny material falling. I assumed it was my mirror.
All right. Well, very good. We appreciate your time. If you remember anything else, please just head down to the constabulary and let them know what's going on.
I'd be happy to. I'd be happy to. I wish there was more that I could do for you.
Well,
now that you mention it, could you cover up that hole before you do any more constitutions? It's really not something you should do in public. And currently, your restroom is in public.
Believe me, I understand.
I'd hate to have to come down here.
We've already had it taken care of, and we've covered it up with boarding. I have people coming in very earliest tomorrow and latest the day after to take care of this. Luckily it's not a supporting wall that's gone now, and but yes, you're right. With people, using the marketplace below my home, it is a wise decision for us to go ahead and cover the hole.
Yeah. Plus, for me, you don't owe me anything else. I know that you personally funded the parade tomorrow, celebrating my last day today. So I just want to say thank you. And he kind of starts walking towards the door, but he turns around and he says, "One more thing. Have you had any visitors over lately that you maybe took into the gallery, or had anybody look around in there that doesn't normally come on the premises?"
Not recently. No, not at all.
Okay. Well, very good. Then I will be on my way. Come on. Sir, you might want to check on the rest of the home as well. the young man that's been traveling with me used to be a criminal. He's not anymore, but he's new to the police force. So just take inventory. Just and let us know anything about anything. See you tomorrow.
Monocle straightens up more as you say this. And he will walk you to the door, yet this time he is walking behind you instead of leading you. And he'll walk up to the door, open it, lets you out, and you watch as his eyes dim just a little bit as he shuts the door.
Okay. Well, I guess probably the next thing to do would be to head back to base, kind of file some reports. This is going to be mostly paperwork, I assume, for a while.
This is a really good first day. I just want to thank you, Jumbles. I know I've been kind of giving you a hard time, but you taught me a lot today.
I've been getting that a lot lately, so as usual, you're welcome.
So anyways, can I maybe ride with you in the parade? Just
tomorrow?
It's,
oh heavens, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'll probably need a security detail. What about you could be near me, walking, making sure that no renegade madman shoots the front of my my parade vessel tomorrow that I can't remember the name of. My float. I hear that there are places where
I like parade vessel.
He's an old guy who couldn't come up with the word.
Yeah.
My parade vessel.
Well, I hear this.
I feel like Zap Brannigan should be saying that. Get my parade vessel. Is it covered in velour?
All right. Well, you've got a lot of paperwork to do back at the station. I think we should get going.
Yes, that is a great idea. So we go back.
So you go back. You're able to get that paperwork done, but that's a lot of information. You got to go through detail by detail, filling it all out in triplicate. You do have the special pin that when you hold it to a foot and a half away is another pin, a foot and a half away. So as you write, it continues to fill out the second and third pages. So everybody has like a long desk that goes off to the right. Left-handed people hate it. And you're filling out all the information in the forms, doing the best job that you can. And it takes you a handful of hours. By the time that it is finished, you realize that most of the precinct has been emptied, including Stanley.
So I think he would probably kind of stand up from his desk and stretch. And he kind of looks around and he realizes that the place is empty. And he kind of smiles. It's like, well, I guess since this was my last day, I'll probably be just heading home now. Spent a lot of time here, worked with a lot of great people. I hope everyone knows how much they've meant to me. And I will truly miss everybody.
Barely sticking out of the stack of papers that you've been filling, right at the very bottom, it looks as though there's a page that's not been filed and stacked correctly.
Well, we can't have this. Not on my last day. What is this cleverly out of place? Let's see what it says. And he pulls on it.
It looks as though someone has left a note for one more location to check that came up while you were gone, and they didn't want to interrupt you. They just left it sitting there on the table. Unfortunately, it stayed there as you stacked up papers and papers upon it, and it wants you to go to an inn, or excuse me, a bar called the Blue Man to do one last interview of a situation that sounds very similar.
Well, how clever. There is not an invitation, a report here saying to go to an inn. Oh, man. Where I'm sure there's a tavern. Yes, of course, a bar. Oh, man. This is, I can't leave any stone unturned, so I must, I guess I'll go. I'm going to the inn now. I'm on the way now.
Okay.
Just yelling into the open room. I guess I'll go over there.
So, on your way to the Blue Man, you kind of smile at the humor in this, realizing that the Blue Man is a bar that you have been to often. The story behind the Blue Man is that a man who claimed to be human yet was completely blue with long hair that was black as night, always seen no matter the temperature, vested, billowing pants tucked into his boots, a long stack with a scraggly top and a lantern hanging from it. And every time that you go in, the bartender always reminds you that that lantern outside the front door, that hooded lantern, is the Blue Man's lantern. And there is even people that are regulars continue to say when they don't need anything else, when they're asked, what can I get you? They know that the last drink you always order is Nikhil. Nothing. And you laugh because, as the story goes, Nikhil came through a portal. How fitting. One last portal for you to check, right? And you put your hand onto the door, look at the lantern, and out the side of your eye, the corner of it, one would even say, you see two forged walking past the building. You open the door, surprise! And people from all over town are in there celebrating, ready to celebrate with you. People from the precinct, people you've even seen today. And at the front of the crowd, you see Stanley Starkhawks.
Jumbles, I was just telling these guys about how you were saying I was the best partner you ever had. You know, how we work so good together. You might stay on a few more weeks, but, you know, we're just glad to have you.
This man's a liar.
And in Stanley's hand is a glass of unsweet lemonade without lemon.
He looks at it and he's
Here
like,
you go, partner.
No, I appreciate it, but today was my last day on the force. Go ahead and put the lemon back in.
You hear everybody goes, oh.
Oh, God.
The place is packed. For the next hour, people just tell stories about things that you have done, that they've seen, old partners who've retired, all 6 of them that are still alive. All tell stories about what's happened. The elderly who are just members of town tell stories that they heard of you about when they were children. All except for one person. There's one person who is sitting alone at the bar.
Throw them out.
Not really. It's a dwarf.
This is my party.
Actually.
You're out. Smile or leave.
From behind, you can see that this dwarf has on this long coat that even though he's seated at the bar stool, the long coat goes down to at least the bottom rung of the bar stool as he's sitting up there. And the long coat is very baggy, not just as the way it is around his body, but along his arms as well. And his arms are rested on the table, and even just head down, just throws up a finger. On his back is a crossbow.
Do I recognize him?
No.
I think he would kind of schmooze through the party a little bit. And I think he might go over. And as he passes Stanley, he kind of puts his arm on him and says, "Hey, follow me over here." And he walks over to the table, and I think he would probably sit down kind of at the table with this guy.
He's at the bar.
Oh, at the bar?
But,
so I'd probably
yeah.
take a seat next to him at the bar and order whatever alcohol I've been drinking. Because you don't drink on the job, but the day's done now. I kind of orders one. Says, you come for the party or
as you sit down beside him and say that, you see him just holding on to his alcohol at his hands, just muttering to himself. Across his chest, you can see what looks to be just vial upon vial upon vial of swirling liquids put into straps along a bandolier.
Son, you okay? He would actually probably say that in dwarf.
In Dwarven, he
Dwarven,
looks
sorry.
up. Yeah, that's all right. In Dwarven, he looks up at you, and there's no son about it. He's an old man. What do you want? Where am I? It's so cold here.
I believe
Give me another.
This place is called the Blue Man. You're at my retirement party.
Congratulations.
Excuse me?
Congratulations.
Thanks. And he kind of reaches a hand over to shake this man's hand, and he says, Bum Jumbles Rotten Squad.
So cool. So Sorrow Forged. Billebeck. Sorrow Forged. Where the hell am I? And as he turns towards you, all of a sudden, it's not just a bandolier. There are scroll cases wrapped around. There are wand sheaths wrapped around. You can see popping out from the just right behind his collar, up against his neck, looks like two rods. This guy is armed to the hilt with magic. And that crossbow, which you've seen crossbows. This is an oddly a crossbow made of odd material.
Hey, you're not in any danger or trouble here, friend. These people are all just seeking a good time. You don't know where you're at. He kind of looks at the bartender, and the bartender's starting to bring the drink over. And he looks at the dwarf and then looks at the bartender and says, Nikhil. kind of gives him the cut sign, as in don't bring him that drink.
You watch him open his hand, and the mug comes straight to his hand. He goes, "How do you know that name?" Oh,
the name means stop, no more. It seems like maybe you've had a little too much to drink, friend.
little too much to drink. You have no idea how many places I've been. You have no idea the things that I've seen, and you have no idea what I'm running from. And all of a sudden, in his head, like you watch his eyes pop wide open, and he looks over the door, and there he says, "They're here." And he slides off that bar stool. As you turn to look, walking in the door is 3 forged.
Do I recognize any of them?
You can. It is real difficult for you to be able to see them with as many people that are in here.
Gotcha.
And then all of a sudden, you watch as one of them puts up his fist, and as he puts his fist into the air, he closes it, and from around that closed fist, just orange light glows and shoots through the top of the roof. People begin screaming, start running out. The constabulary immediately, you watch it as people run up to it, try to take them down, try to hold on to him. One of the even forged constables comes up, tries to fight him. 2 of the others throw him off and start tear him to shreds. Other constables are being beaten to a pulp as the rest begin to move everybody out of the building, telling everybody, "Run! Run! Get away! Come back for them! Everybody clear the area! Everybody clear the area!" And you watch it like starting to form a circle outside, and it's being left in this throng. The 2 of you. The Sorrow-forged dwarf is gone, and these 3 forged. These forged look different now that you can see them. In the face or the head shape, it looks as if they may have been made in a Decaneth facility. But as you see the rest of their body, it is as oddly made from odd materials as that crossbow was made. This does not look like any kind of forged that you have ever seen.
All right, guys. Just calm down. Calm down. We're just here trying to have a good time. It looks like you guys aren't from around here, so we're not. Nobody's looking for any trouble. What are you guys here for, if you don't mind me asking?
Where is Sorrow forged?
All of the forged they're made over at they're not made around here.
Where is the dwarf Billebeck?
And he kind of turns around and he's going to give you a wink. And then you can see his brow sort of furrows up, and he takes a big breath. We only just met Billebeck, and he kind of puts his hand on his hip, like closed fist on his hip, and he loosely kind of puts his hand around the handle of his club.
Family's like, BJ, these the Terminators.
I know.
If you're going to protect him, his fate will become your fate as well. He has stolen from us, and we intend to bring him back and judge him rightly.
Well, that's a robbery. Perfect. That's actually, we are police officers, and so if he has stolen something from you, it is our sworn duty to get it back. So that's perfect. Why don't you just tell me what it is?
You're partners. We're partners. Maybe we could all work together on this case.
The laws here do not apply. The elemental plane of fire will be what burns away all that is impure. Give him to us now. And you watch them pose, ready to fight. Or die.
One hell of a last day, Bum Jumbles.
Yeah, I'm getting too old for this shit. And I guess he'll take just one or two steps back, and he'll pull both of his clubs out. He says, "One day from retirement, almost made it." And he would just say, "We don't have them," and I think he would sort of take a defensive stance as well.
Roll initiative. Is that 12 your initiative, Mike?
Yep.
All right, Bum Jumbles, you're first. You're muted.
I think what Bum Jumbles will do is, I guess he's I'm going to run at the one on the left.
Okay. We'll number them just across 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
So left is 1, middle is 2, right is 3.
So I'm going to go to 1 and kind of put myself to where right to my left is the bar. Am I picturing the room correctly?
To your left is the bar.
Cool. So I've got the bar on my left side, and then 1 in front of me, and 2 and 3 off to the side. So yeah, I'm just going to try and, I guess, whack this guy with my club.
All right.
Bum Jumbles attack. 18.
18 will hit.
All right. Then we will do 7 damage. I'm going to use my Horde Breaker to make the same attack to number 2. An 11.
Does not hit.
All right, and then I will use my bonus action to swing with my offhand at number 1 again.
Okay.
And that is a 14.
That does not hit.
All right.
And number 1 and 2, they take their turn, and you watch as number 1 and number 2 immediately. Number 1, both arms flip at the elbows and turn into short blades, and number 2, you watch as immediately his body begins to like secrete this ooze. Number 1 takes his attack at you. That's a 16 to hit.
I have a 16 armor class, so that will hit.
Okay. And the second one is only a 10. So the first attack comes at you, and you're going to take a whole whopping 4 points of slashing, magical. And the second attack misses you. The next one goes to punch at you and rolls a nat 1. And you watch with that nat 1 as he goes over and he punches, missing you completely. He punches through the wall and is stuck. And the next attack against him is going to have advantage. Stanley, Bum Jumbles is adjacent to number 1 and number 2. Number 2 is the one that you'll have advantage to attack him, and number 3 is 10 feet away from Bum Jumbles.
Okay, cunning action on the rogue, does that allow me to hide and then get sneak attack in the same turn?
hiding in combat when they're aware of you, if you want to hide so that they can't attack you, or so that they aren't completely aware of where you are, hiding in combat, they're still aware of you. You can attack number 1 or 2. You already have advantage on number 2, and you can sneak attack 1 or 2 thanks to Bum Jumbles being next to them anyway, without having advantage.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sneak attack number 2 if I hit it.
Okay. Are you doing a ranged attack?
Sorry, with my rapier.
Okay, so you come running up. So you are within 5 feet of all of them.
Yep. Unfortunately. You said I have advantage on that?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 21 to hit.
That hits.
Ooh, big damage. 13. Wait, sorry. Plus 15 damage.
All right. 15 damage. That thing is, you watch as you get right into it, assuming you're like, all right, Forge has a weak spot. You go for that weak spot. It is still the exact same place, even though it looks to have different power source and a different body composition. This thing, you're pretty solid. You can take it down as part of its powering fluid begins to spray all over the place. However, it is still up and going. Number 3 is going to disengage and move away from you to the far side of the room. And you watch as he then picks up his hand, holds it there, and he goes to number 1 and number 2. Having watched that happen, number 1 and number 2 are now both going to be coming after you, Stanley, after that massive whack. Both swinging arms come straight for you from number 1. Yes, so a 12 isn't going to hit you, but a 22 will. You're going to take 6 points of slashing damage from one of its arm blades. The second one reaches out, pulls its arm out of the wall, and goes to grab onto you. And that's a crit. You are going to take 11 points of acid damage as it reaches out and touches you, and that just ooziness secretes out onto your body and your armor. And Bum Jumbles, I totally skipped you, dude. I'm sorry. You could have advantage on this attack.
All right. I think... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit this same one that we've kind of been working on.
Okay. He attacked... You attacked number 1 the first time. He attacked number 2 on his turn. So...
Okay. Then, yeah, I'm going to... as number 2, how's he looking?
Number 2's looking pretty hurt. For a Forged, he looks pretty beat up with that single pierce that's gotten through to him as he's just been smacking him around, going out, and then hits that one great spot.
As he takes his, or I guess he's got both of those things in his hand. I'm just going to make an attack on number 2. Actually, you know what I'm going to do instead is I would like to cast Hunter's Mark on number 2. Basically what he does as he's kind of getting fought over the top of here a little bit, he kind of hits the butts of these 2 things together and kind of goes doo-doo-doo on this Warforged's foot. And then it's going to come up and give him a kind of a swat across the face here. So
all right.
marking him first. This is a good one. It's probably a hit. It is a 19 plus 6. It's 25.
Definitely a hit.
All right. That'll do 6 damage. Oh, and I get to roll the d6. And then 4 more. So 10 total.
All right. This thing is holding on, but just barely.
I'm going to use my Horde Breaker to attack number 1 again.
Okay.
That's a 23.
That'll hit it.
And that is only 5 damage.
It's all right. Y'all are going to town on this thing. Stanley, it is your turn.
Okay, well, I think encouraged by hitting a weak spot, Stanley's going to rear back and take another stab. Ooh, and that is a crit.
Do it, man.
Crit 20.
So you're at a 2d6 right now on your sneak attack, right?
Sorry, what?
Or is it 3d6? Your sneak attack is 2d6 right now?
Oh, I was not under the impression that it was.
Is it 3d6?
Oh, I screwed that up. Ish.
It's
Hold on. It is 2d6.
2d6.
Yeah.
So your rapier is a d8 weapon, right?
Yep.
So 6, 12, 20 points minimum. Roll your 2d6 and your 8 and add it to it. And your d8 plus your bonus then. So 20 plus whatever this is.
That'll be 32.
Yeah.
Including the 20.
Yeah. That's an outright kill.
Yeah, I think so. Stanley rears back and sticks the rapier right back where he pulled it out of. Maybe wiggles it around a little bit for good measure. Just nicks the right thing and.
When you do that, however, it explodes in a ball of fire. I'm going to need both you and Bump Jumbles to make dexterity saving throws.
I'm guessing the other number 1 has to make one too, right?
Nope.
I got a 17. Dexterity, 17.
Mm-hmm. What you get there, Stanley?
Sorry, I was muted. 21.
All right, you both save, so you're going to take half of 13 fire damage. Anything else you want to do, Stanley?
I want to go home. Was really looking forward to that stew at Aunt Sill's house. I think maybe I should use that cunning action to. I'm not engaged, am I? With
you are engaged to number 1.
I would like to disengage, kind of tumble away. Preferably behind some tables or something if there's any left.
Absolutely. You can, in fact, let's see. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check for me.
16.
Cool. You are able to, in the process of disengaging that. Now, number one is just swinging at you away with another blade. You're able to duck under it through his feet and up over and behind the bar.
Perfect. Yeah. Cool.
However, this now leaves it leaves Bum Jumbles wide open, and so 2 shots from the one that ran over to the corner. The first one's a 14. Your AC is a 16. And the second one's a 23. So you're going to take 6 fire damage as it continues to blast that orange fiery light at you. The first one that missed you hits the wall and begins to add fire to the already burning now side of the building from that previous explosion. Bum Jumbles, you're up.
How big is the bar? Like
tall or long?
Like, let's say, how far away is the robot that shot me?
On the far side of the room, about 30 feet. No, it's more like 20 feet away. Because you're not all the way to the wall, and if you move 20 feet, you'll get to a space adjacent to him. There are, however, tables and chairs in the way.
Remind me how this works. Hunter's Mark. Does it take a bonus action to move it?
Yes.
I thought so. All right, so I will move it to the number one that I'm now standing next to. And he'll turn around and he'll look at number 3, I guess is who it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll say, Billebeck, if you're in here, I sure hope that you're planning on helping sometime soon, because we're about to die for you. And I'm going to use my action to cast Fog Cloud, where I am on the inside of it, so that, number 1, I am obstructed from him. But it is also blocking, everything is obscured to number 3. So he can't see me to shoot me.
So number 3 can't see you at all?
Right.
Okay, but number 1 fully concealed as well?
No, I'm fully concealed. Number 1 isn't. It's a
20 so
I'm inside the fog cloud, but I am
so
on.
You basically centered it on the dude, on number 3. So you're on the edge of it.
It's not that big. It 20 feet away from me is the other end of the fog cloud.
Oh, so both you and number 3 are on the edge of the cloud, just on opposite ends.
I'm on the inside of the cloud. He's not in it at all because he's 30 feet away.
Okay, got it. I understand now.
Yeah. So he's outside of it, obscured by it. So is number 1, and I'm inside of it.
So like from where both of them are standing, it's like the room just filled with fog. Almost.
Cool. Gotcha.
And I think I would probably go the opposite, like move towards the other side of the room away from the bar.
Cool. So what we've been calling, you're going to move the right?
Yes, I'm going to move to the right.
Okay. Cool. So number 1 is then going to you hear the sound of whirring and buzzing, and you begin to feel the air in the room pick up. Number 2 is dead. Stanley.
Do you think Stanley would have a potion on him a health potion because he's feeling
Sure.
very. Probably this is the worst he's ever felt.
They probably give you
Sure,
one
yeah.
for your just in case.
How,
Medic.
how are we gonna roll that there? Um,
Well, in
I know.
Eberron, we've just been saying take
Just
the
been-
what is it, D10 hit points.
Sorry, did you want to take just full 10 or
Yeah.
roll? Okay. So I'm still in serious danger in this fight with 14 instead of 4. But I want to go ahead and use that potion
Cool.
as I'm huddled behind the bar and seeing the room fill up with fog. Like, I imagine this is freaking him out even more. He doesn't see that it's coming from Bum Jumbles.
Right. So bum jumbles. Since it's concealment, since it's concealment and not cover, he can make an attack against you at disadvantage, right?
I believe that
Because
is accurate.
technically it's like being blinded. Can't see and automatically fails on ability checks that require sight. Attack rolls against creatures.
Have disadvantage, I'm guessing.
Yes. They have disadvantage. All right. Would you believe that both dice say 6? So that's an 11 total. However, that one goes by and again hits the wall and the building is continuing to go up pretty solidly. Bum jumbles, you are feeling it's your turn and you are feeling the wind pick up even more. Bum jumbles.
Sorry, I thought I unmuted myself. So this thing attacked me while I was in the fog cloud?
Number 3 did.
Okay.
You feel the wind picking up from the area that number 1 is.
Yeah, I am going to run out and kind of jump and start making attacks at him. So
1 or 3.
Number 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna just kind of come out of the fog with my crazy beard kind of flowing behind me with both of my sticks up. So if it's like being blinded, does that mean I get advantage?
Yes.
All right. Advantage. Bum jumbles. That is a 24.
That hits.
All right. And then that is 8 total clubbing damage.
Okay.
Oh, wait. And I moved my mark to him. 6 more. All right.
Okay. Don't you have
I do
your
have
bonus action?
I do have my bonus action today, so I will make another attack. And that is a 19.
That'll hit.
All right. And that will only be another 7 damage.
All right. That's enough to kill it, though.
All right.
And as you jumped out, you saw that those arm blades, that instead of being pointed straight forward, had been pointed at 90-degree angles from the arms and were spinning, trying to blow the fog away. And since you killed him, the fog remains.
Excellent. I think I would also move away in fear of this thing also exploding.
And it will explode. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
Hey. I hope that it saves. It does a 12 save.
A 12 does not save.
That could be trouble.
No, it's 3d8's fire damage, and I just rolled a 1, a 2, and a 1. So 4 fire.
Oof. Yeah, that could have been real bad. Yeah, so I have moved back into the the fog.
All right.
I
Move
guess
back into the fog.
if there's something that I could take cover behind.
Yeah, you can. As you go in, if you want to run into a table and knock it over and just duck down, you got that.
Sure. And I'm just going to tip the
Or if you
table
want
over.
to try to, you also have some. You also have a lot of movement. So if you want to try to clamber over into the bar area,
I think what I'm going to
because you
do
saw
is,
Stanley go in there.
yeah, I'm going to run up and tip one of these human-sized tables over so that I don't actually have to squat down behind it. I'm just kind of leaned over a little bit, hiding behind this taller table.
Okay. Okay. One's dead. Two's dead. Stanley, as you are finishing drinking that potion, the one of the most horrific sounds that you could possibly hear. Something is coming across the floor at you through this fog. As it rolls up, it hits you, and it is a vial of a whitish blue liquid.
Uh, I think Stanley's just like, what is this? Does it look like a potion?
You don't hear it. It looks like one of those that the dwarf named Billabek had across him on his bandolier.
Mm. Bandoliers usually carry weapons, right? Not. Ooh.
Well, it was covered in vials of liquids, so
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what I'm thinking as Caleb. If he was going to use it offensively, he would have thrown it himself because he's probably better at it. So this has got to be in some way useful to you.
Okay.
That being said, you might
fair.
die.
That's fair.
You're going to just drink alchemist fire.
Yeah, I hope. It's okay. I mean, if Stanley goes down this way, that's fine. I think Stanley is maybe even like almost reflexively like he's taking the next shot in a line of drinks, grabs the other vial as if he's just like mindlessly thinking it's his other potion that he had and just like downs it.
As soon as you down it and you finish, all of a sudden the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, oh, it's so cold in here, and you realize you're saying the same thing that Billabek was saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cold here.
All right.
Roll a quick insight. Disadvantage. Don't forget your hero points, guys.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. My highest possible roll with hero points is 11. If I roll a 6 on that.
Oh, okay. Well,
should I bother?
You're just like.
Sorry, yeah. No, I lied. It would be 9. Is my highest possible. If I rolled a 6.
Yeah, it is cold in here. It just got real cold.
Ooh, cold in here. Hey, BJ, you cold? Feeling real cold. Is drinking a potion's an action, isn't it?
Yep.
So I think I'm done. And how? You said that the guy's running towards me. Am I still tucked behind the bar? Like, is he behind the bar too?
Nobody's moving toward you.
Okay. That was the
potion
vial
along the ground. Yep.
Okay. Okay, cool. I think that he's just gonna pull out his rapier and hang out for now. The room's full of fog.
You can move as a bonus action with your cunning action.
Well, I think I'm gonna stay behind the bar. I might move advance toward the side of the room that the other Warforged is on. But behind the bar is the safe place right now. Or, in Stanley's head.
Okay. Number 3. You hear sounds of shots being fired. Stanley, you realize that none of the shots are coming at you. Bum Jumbles, you realize that none of the shots are coming at you either. Bum Jumbles, it's you.
He's kind of standing there behind the deal. And I think the first thing he's going to do is probably drop concentration on Fog Cloud. As a bonus action, I'm going to move my mark to number 3. And then he's going to say, kid, this is getting pretty nasty. Maybe you ought to think about getting out of here. You got a long career of robbing banks ahead of you, I'm sure. It's a joke. You're new. I'm going to use my last spell to cast Cure Light Wounds on myself. And then I'm going to peek my head over the table and see if I can see what the hell this guy's shooting at.
You said you got rid of the fog?
Yes.
Cool. Over there, you see that there is a Warforged fighting like crazy, punching, throwing, like hands completely engulfed in fire, blasting away. And there is the dwarf, like having thrown off his jacket, wand in one hand, rod in another. He smacks him, shoots him with the wand, smacks him with the rod, puts the rod up against him, watches him blow back, the Warforged blow back to the wall. The Warforged hits the wall, but then immediately sprints back at him, swinging, throwing at him like they are in the middle of a freaking melee. And it's still your turn.
I think I would probably kind of like get positioned, kind of like slicing the pie type of thing. He like hits the wall so that and he moves just far enough so that on his next turn he can come up and maybe rock this guy from behind.
Got it. Stanley. You see the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think Stanley peeks over and is going to vault over and charge the Warforged.
And cool. You are going to, because the room is still, it's covered in knocked down chairs. There's a table that's up on its side. Everything is thrown together in a jumble. You're going to have to make an acrobatics check. And the only way to make a straight line is over all of it.
Cool. I'm going to roll my hero point. 14.
That's dead on it, man.
Perfect.
You run across, hop off of that, hop off of the bar, hit like the legs of a chair, pointed up, hit on the table, run, leap, fly through the air.
Yeah.
Make your attack roll.
Ooh. Crit. 20.
So 20 plus, because you want to know the damage, right?
Oh, yeah. Almost full damage, too. 20 damage.
And as you're prepping up for that Bojumbles, you watch as it falls down to a knee and starts to explode. Make that saving throw there, Stanley.
I almost hope that I fail it and die from the. Oh God! 8.
Fail. That is 15 points of fire damage.
Perfect. That puts me -1.
You are unconscious, and
wait, I did take that vial. Did that vial give me any benefit?
Yes.
Fire damage.
Thank you for reminding me. You feel all that fire go around. You're like, "Oh God, I'm dead," and that fire goes right around your body without touching you.
Oh, awesome!
And you watch
So
it.
you
watch it do the
imagine
same
yourself
thing to
die.
Bobek.
Yeah, I think that Stanley's like he's acting like he's like gonna die from it.
He sees
And then
his
he looks
life
down.
flash before his eyes, but it's not his life he has had. He's like envisioning his funeral. And he's like, oh my God, so many people are going to come. I bet you, Rotten Squad will still be alive. I know he'll come. And then you open your eyes, and I'm standing there like, what the fuck?
But the building is going up in a blaze.
We did just set off 3 huge explosions.
To the soda dispensers. Yeah,
Save the lemonade.
not the unlimited, unsweetened lemonade. Don't use that to put the fire out. So yeah, I think he's scooping his friend, kind of grabbing and trying to make a break for the door.
The door is completely in fire, and as you are making for that break for the door, and you're realizing, oh crap, it's in flame. The other Billowbeck comes running up beside you, draws another wand out from one of the holsters, and points it, and you watch it just suck up all the flame. As it's putting out the flame, you're able to move through, but as soon as it goes through, the flame, like, you both make it out, and the flame just shoots right back out of the wand and goes right back to the door. He puts it away and he goes, you can't put that out with just simple magic. And he just looks at the building. It's going down. You know that, right?
For real.
There's no saving it. That's elemental fire.
Can we get out?
You're out of the You're out of the building. He sucks up the fire.
Okay. Yeah.
Effectively, he used his wand that has control flame, but because it's elemental fire, not this plane's fire.
Sure.
It can't hold on to it, and so it sends it right back after you've gone through.
I think the only thing, or the last thought that he would have, is as he's watching this thing like burn to the ground. He's kind of looking around at the crowd, and he sees the bar owner who's looking at his building just burning, and he thinks about what he always, every time he walked in, and so he runs over and he grabs the hooded lantern, and he pulls it up out of the ground, and he's going to bring it back and watch the building burn.
And even the owner, when you come back, he just looks at it and goes, from nothing. And Billowbeck finishes it to Nikhil. And camera pans back, and that's the end of that story in Market.
And wait, and Bum Jumbles has his arm around Stanley because they're best friends now.
He says, "Hey, I just want you to know that if Johnson ever gets out of line, just tell your aunt about it. You got to find people to talk to.
You're gonna be a terrible cop.
You're a thief. Are you sure this is what you want to do?"
You did terrible until you miraculously blew up 2 robots.
Yeah. Do you realize on my last day, I've been doing this a long time. I'm a 230-year-old vet. I've seen some stuff. But not till today, when you showed up, has all this stuff happened. Are you in on this?
And he can't hear you very well as you try to whisper it as the entire building is roaring in flame.
I think as
Stanley's like, I'm gonna miss you too.
I think the wind blows and the fire wicks and it's quiet for a second and he just yells, "Insurance fraud!"
Yeah.
And now it goes back. And that's the end of that game. Thank you guys for playing. I promise you this is not a wasted interlude. We will continue to reference Bum Jumble's Rotten Squat and Stanley Starkhawks. Both now exist in this world. Unfortunately, you guys weren't able to have your characters killed or kill them off yourself. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next game.